Hey guys, welcome back! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed, who watches my videos, who comes back, does all that kind of stuff. It means so much. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 snacks for my toddler. I'm going to walk you through them and exactly how I like to do this. A lot of this is stuff that you can make out of anything, and they're my top 5 snacks for a reason because my son always eats them. They're so versatile and they're so fun. So I'm going to be going over all that, as well as some like helpful tools to have in the kitchen to be able to make these snacks, and some other like fun things that I think will be really good to have for these snacks that I don't have but I would love to have. If you hear the AC going on, that loud sound that's over here, it's because it's like a zillion degrees outside and I would be sweating making this video if I did not actually have this on. So I apologize for that, but let's get into this video. I wanted to also shout out and mention that this video is in collaboration with Natalia. She is my favorite YouTuber. I've watched her for a hot minute before I actually asked her if she wanted to collab with me. She is wonderful. She is down to earth, sweet human being that cares so much about the Lord, cares so much about her family, and that makes me very excited. And I think that she is a wonderful person. So I am going to link her Instagram and her YouTube channel down below. She talks about motherhood, traveling, and lifestyle content. And so if you like pretty much anything related to that, you will like her channel. She is so wonderful and I absolutely am so blessed to have her as part of this video. And so I will link all of her things down below. I also wanted to thank her for being a part of this collaboration. And if you're coming over from her channel, welcome! I'm so excited that you're here. And yeah, let's just get into the video. Okay, so let's chat a little bit about how I come up with snacks overall. I look at snacks based off of their affordability, how much whole foods they are, no dyes, as natural as possible, whole food. That's kind of basically what I base it on. Is it easy to make? Is it affordable? Is it whole food? Those are my 3 questions usually. I stay away from dyes and I try to stay away from gluten just because my son and I are sensitive to gluten, and too much of it will really cause havoc in our bodies and our skin and all kinds of things like that, so we try to stay away from that. So we're technically more of a gluten-free family that also tries to live more of a natural lifestyle. So with that, I wanted to go over a couple of things that I use in my kitchen to be able to make these snacks. Are you guys crooked? No, now you're way better, okay. So some of the things I have in my kitchen to be able to help make snacks like this are obviously like cups and spoons and forks, those basic things. Wax paper, a blender, rolling pin, pizza cutter, and then this is something that I wish I had, but I have not purchased it yet. But if you do have them, let me know if you like them. But there's like these little stamp roller animal cracker pizza cutter looking things. I don't know what they're called technically, but they're like these little pizza cutter rollers that have like these little stamp cutouts of animals on them. And I really want to try them because in one of these recipes I actually make like crackers and stuff, and I want to try to make some animal crackers like that, and I think that they would be so fun, and then they'd be like little animals so that my son would want to eat them more. But those are my top like essentials that I need in the kitchen. A lot of things also that are not mentioned as one of my snacks that I like to have is a dehydrator, because I like to make fruit leather. Fruit leather is something that I will need to make in a whole separate video. Actually all these I'll have to make in a pretty much a whole entire separate video, except like the basic ones that I mentioned, because they are so fun to make, but they're also kind of like finicky to where I would have to explain a lot more in detail on how to make them. But if you want to know more about fruit leather and things like that, you can go look on my Pinterest. I think I always have it linked in the description box below on most of my videos. Anyways, I talk about like snacks like that and all that. So let's get into the snacks. Let's get into all the things that would be helpful for you to get your child to eat. Another type of like thing that I like to include with the like utensils would be like these little silicone cup liners that you can get at Walmart. You can get them on Amazon. They're everywhere. They're basically like little bitty paper cupcake liners, but they're silicone, so you get to wash them. They're dishwasher safe on the top rack. I love them. They're wonderful, and I like to use them to put anything in because it makes kids want to go eat them. It sounds silly, but it is so true. So that's one of my tips first off. Alright, so one of my first snacks, this is very simple, very easy, this is not anything difficult, but I like to get fruit and cheese. Any fruit that I have that's on sale is what I purchase, and any cheese that's dye-free, I buy it, and I cut it up in cubes, or I shred it, or I make it look a little bit more fun than usual. And I will put that all together, and I like to use cookie cutters to be able to make like different shapes out of it, so that way my son will want to eat it. There's a reason why like the dinosaur dino nuggets are so fun for kids, and so if I can make something that's a little bit healthier look more fun like that and look more like something that he would want to eat, like a processed food, then I include that. I also wanted to mention that your child will want to eat whatever it is that you give them if you start them off early enough. All children have a picky phase, which basically is the span between where they don't really want to eat anything, or they're picky, or they spit it out, or they just don't want to try it. Every child goes through that, but if you start them at a very young age of wanting to try many different types of foods, getting them interested in foods and flavors, it will be a little bit easier, like the tiniest bit easier in that phase. So all of that to say, children need to see foods 7 times before they'll actually be able to try it and want to eat it and all of that, and get used to like the texture of food. So I say all that to say, I try to make sure that my snacks are as variety packed possible, and so fruit and cheese is one of the ways that I get to make it very much so filled with variety. And I also get to make like fun little cutouts with like little mini cookie cutters. On Amazon they have these, and I never knew about them until like last week. And so I purchased them, and they're like these tiny little bitty cookie cutters, and you get to make it into anything that you want. But anyways, I use that for my fruit and cheese, because whatever fruit, you know, like blueberries and grapes, obviously you can't do that, but like strawberries, you can cut them up into slices and then stamp them with like a little cookie cutter. Again, if you have the time to do that, do it, because your children will love it and it'll be so fun. And then I also do that with cheese, so I will slice the cheese. I get a block of cheese and I slice it, and then I'll take a slice of that cheese, it's a little bit thicker, and I'll stamp it with the cookie cutters, and then it's a fun snack for children to consume, to have, and it's really fun that way. So that's one of my first snacks. It's my easy go-to snack because I already have cheese. I always keep that in there, and I always have fruit. So those are like the 2 things that I will always put together. Sourdough crackers is one of these recipes that my son loves. He loves crackers overall. He will eat any type of crackers. Like, that's one of the foods that we actually bribe him with to do good in like church or going out places, because it is something, just because it is so ridiculously easy for us to because he loves them so much. So I like to be able to make sourdough crackers if I can. We usually, like I said, try to stick to a more of a gluten-free lifestyle, and so gluten-free crackers are expensive, and I like to use them for whenever I'm going to my mom's house or whoever's watching for that day. I like to make sure that I have those like gluten-free crackers that I can just easily put in a bag and leave. But at home, he eats these sourdough crackers, which I make, and it's super easy. I never actually came up with this recipe on my own, so I will link it down below. It's Pinterest recipe. It's so good. And then we also like to make Cheez-It crackers using the same recipe, but including at least 2 cups of cheese, and you just mix it up together and you roll it out with a rolling pin on wax paper. And then what I like to do is take the wax paper off, and then I like to bake it on a cookie sheet, and then until it's like crispy and golden brown on the top. It is seriously the best cracker, and it tastes like a Cheez-It. It's so good. And then if you're not really into Cheez-Its and you don't really like that like cheesy flavor, but you just want a normal cracker, I use the sourdough cracker recipe plain with no cheese, and it's still so good. It's so buttery and just delicious, and it lasts for around 3 days before you need to put it in the fridge or consume it somehow, or to get rid of it. So they usually don't last that long in our house. They usually last maybe 2 days, and I need to make another batch. So what I like to do is to bulk cook it. I will take that whole batch, I will double or triple the recipe of those crackers, and I will make one batch that day, and then I will freeze the other 2, and I will make them into like little like logs basically of like kind of like cookie dough looking, and I'll put them in the freezer, and then in the freezer they'll be ready for me throughout the week. For whenever we run out of those crackers, I can take it out, I can let it thaw, I can roll it out and let it cook in the oven again to where there is all of the food in there. So anyways, I personally really like it. I think they're really delicious, and I've also tried a recipe of using sourdough crackers and making it into cinnamon sugar sourdough crackers, and they are also just as delicious. So you can make this recipe however you like and make it into something that really works for you. Again, gluten-free crackers are really expensive. Really everything is, so I try to make as much as I can on my own, so that way I know that it's healthy, I know it's whole food, and I know what's in it, and I know that we are actually saving some money because we eat it all and we aren't wasting it. So yeah, that's what I really like to do there. Yogurt parfaits are another family favorite. Family favorite. My son and I's favorite. My husband doesn't really like yogurt parfaits or like fruit or stuff like that, so it's mainly just for my son and I. Yogurt parfaits are really delicious. You get to put any type of fruit in there. You take yogurt and you put it in there. I also like to do this with kefir. So I make my own kefir at home, and I like to use that in replacement of yogurt. It tastes really good to me. It kind of tastes the same thing as yogurt, but it's a lot easier for my son to be able to consume. So yogurt parfaits are very simple. They're very delicious. All I do is take yogurt or whatever kind of fruit, and then I make granola at home as well, and I will put that on top. There is one granola at H-E-B if you live in Texas that I highly recommend. It is like the flax and chia seed one. That one's really good and really good for you. So those are my favorites for putting on top of that. You can also put like anything else you want on top. You can put agave or maple syrup on top. Don't put honey on top because honey is actually not good for any child that is under 2. But if they're over 2, then you can go ahead and use honey if you want to. But yeah, so that's a little bit there. And then the next one is smoothies. Smoothies are so easy. They are so versatile, and they can really fill up a tummy. And so smoothies are something that I try to drink every other day if I can, just because it's hot right now and it's cooling and delicious and refreshing. And so I like to have smoothies on hand all the time. I like to make smoothie bags because usually by the time that my son tells me that he's hungry, or by the time that we're getting to that morning snack or the afternoon snack, he's already hangry. Like he's already like not wanting to wait any longer. So I usually have smoothie bags on hand in the freezer. It's got a half banana in it, some sort of other type of fruit like mango, pineapple, strawberries, any kind, really anything. He even likes cherries, so I will put that in there. And then it's got chia seed, flax seed, hemp seed, some sort of sugar agent. I like to use either dates or date syrup. Both of those are really good, and they also have a lot of B vitamins, which is really good for kids and developing, all that kind of stuff. So that, and then I like to put a little bit of kefir or yogurt in there and put them in the freezer and let them freeze. It is seriously the best time-consuming thing ever, because least time-consuming ever, because all you do is take out the bag, you open it up, you pour it in the smoothie into the blender, and then you blend it, and it literally makes such an easy snack. Also, make sure that you include some sort of like water. I either use coconut water, regular water, or milk to blend it up, depending on like what we're wanting. And it's just really easy and delicious. Snacks do not have to be complicated, they just have to be filling. Sorry about the lighting. The lighting is going to change because it's about to rain here. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is Lunchable cupcakes. You're going to be like, what the heck? But this is where those cupcake liners come into play. So you get those little cupcake silicone liners, and you can, you know, have them sitting on a plate or whatever. I like to put mine on a plate and just let it have a couple around there, and I will have a cracker, sourdough cracker, or whatever the case may be that day. I'll put a cracker down. I will then put some lunch meat and some cheese and put another cracker on top, and then he will usually really like that. Does he eat it in like a little sandwich portion? No, because he's only 1.5. So he usually will eat it like a cracker. He'll eat the cracker off, and then he'll eat the cheese and then the meat and then the other cracker. He'll usually eat it like that, but it's really filling, protein rich, and also just, I know, just very simple, and I really like it, and I know that he likes all of those foods. So that's kind of what I do. That's all I have. But that's all I have for you. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. Again, these foods are all super simple. These snacks are all super simple. I don't really think too hard about food. I just try to make it something that's good and tastes good, and that is filling, and that's good for me. So that's literally all I look for. Whole food, tastes good. Those are like the two main things. So if you are interested in any other videos, leave a comment and let me know what kind of videos that you would like to see. And I thank you so much for coming back to this channel. Thank you so much for Natalia for collabing with me. And if you're coming over from her channel, hello and welcome. Please consider subscribing and leaving a comment of another video that you would like to see. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.